Here's the question. Is there a benefit in having too many work assignments? Because, some of you say my stuff, say I got to set 101 goals, write victory when you hit to them, and you always do that in God's highest color, purple. And then what happens is instead of crossing them out, I got the milk, eggs, butter, you go on to a higher height. Well, here's what happens. When you have too many assignments, there'll be days coming that you feel the updraft of wind on a particular day of an idea that you seeded in your head earlier. It starts to come to fruition spontaneously. And it's sort of like the metaphor that says, I got the wind beneath my wings, and you just start to take off. Or like, because I'm a windsurfer, you start to follow the wind. Well, it is my self-given promise that I create 1,000 of these mark minutes on YouTube and to be shared on all social media platforms. And it's happening. And you see it as I'm doing it, because I'm doing it right now. And you see me in different costumes and different days. It's amazing when I start to write my thinking, like I write this and I'm looking at my computer to see what I say, my thinking, my goals, my plans, my objective, they become clearer, they become more comprehensive, they become more complete than if I just speak them out. If you just think about it, you'll lose it. It's like a wet, slippery fish that you gaff. It's hard to hook and hold on to. But if you write it, it stays complete. And then if you keep rereading it, you take ownership of it. So what you're seeing here is just one of Mark's many outputs. But I want to talk about two guys other than myself. Now, obviously, I got the 318 books that I've finished, and I'm going to, my goal is to sell 1 billion, and I've only sold 500 million, and I got a lot of businesses I'm running. But the fact of the matter is, two guys, I'll give the example of them having too many assignments, and hopefully it'll inspire you to fulfill your assignment level and keep adding more assignments, self-given assignments that you desire to do, because whatever you desire will inspire you to go higher and higher. Right. I learned from Steve Allen, and I did the last show with him before he died when we released Chicken Soup for the Writer's Soul. Here's a man who created The Tonight Show. He created thousands of great songs. He created Broadway plays. He created movies. He created TV shows. And he wrote books. And he was totally, absolutely dyslexic. He read backwards and upside down, so he couldn't read. And I want you to look at his Wikipedia page, because you'll be blown away how prolifically productive he was. But he says you never get writer's block on more than one topic at a time. So if he couldn't write or dictate, as in his case, on any given topic, he had 28 tape recorders at his home where he did all of his work. And he had fresh ideas and visions and objectives and thoughts. And they inspired other thoughts on multiple other topics. So that's Steve Allen. The other guy that I think the world of, and you've heard me talk about, is Elon Musk. Obviously, he's the richest man in the world concurrently. He's a founding, creative, and he's running 6 multi-billion-dollar enterprises simultaneously as I do this right now, showing us all how much more we can do if we do positive and correct right thinking and take right action. He shows us that there's more in us than we've ever used. Now let's talk about his enterprises. Solar City produces and stores the power of the sun, which he said if you took 10 square miles of America, you'd have more than enough energy for everyone that's clean and green, but there's no graft in it, so of course there's going to be people that want to stop that. Tesla is a little computer on wheels, but he's the only guy that's collected over 2 billion pieces of data on a car. Never GM, Ford, Chrysler, Toyota, nobody has collected data except him, so you got to think that through. Tesla Pi phone is just about to be released. I make this now. It may be an old number for you when you get it, but you put it in the sun and it charges up, he says, for the next week. He is going to have 2 terabytes of full information, about 4 times more than anything you get in any other kind of phone. And the phone's going to cost half as much. It's going to, right now, the proposed price is $690 each. He created the Boring Company because he couldn't get to work when he was in LA, and he's digging holes under the grounds of urban areas and major cities by tunneling to stop the constipated traffic so all of us can get to our desired destination. He created a Neuralink with AI, artificial intelligence, and already it's helping crippled people walk and deaf people hear. And then he funded the X Prize with Dr. Peter Diamandis. They went and sent it to Africa with all the money. And in 18 months, they took people that were illiterate, learn them how to do fundamental reading in their language of Swahili, and learn basic mathematics, getting them out of being illiterate. But it proved out, and they're going to take it around the world. He created SpaceX so we can become multi-planetary species And first of all, he's going to help us populate the moon, and he's taken rockets off and landed them. Nobody's ever been able to do that, but that's what free enterprise does. That's why you got to be pro-business and pro people that are doing good thinking in business and pro you becoming an entrepreneur. And then he wants to populate the red planet with 1 million people, right? Because he sees some faults in our own planet. All of this proves just one thing, that we got to go beyond our brain. Our brain is just an inventory system, and the school system teaches that. It's nice to have facts, but our mind can think. Our mind has two things. It has imagination, and Einstein says imagination is more important than facts, and intuition. And my Bucky Fuller, my teacher, wrote the book called Intuition, which I helped a little bit with. But it'll help you create new possibilities and future realities. You are bigger than you think you are. And I want to have you give yourself bigger, better, bolder, stronger, hardier assignments that have triceps and biceps that are solid, and objectives and assignments self-given that wind your clock. I'm wishing you infinitely more success than you've ever had.